Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be dissertating and talking about having Aries on the third house cusp in a natal chart. Now, in astrology, the third house governs communications, siblings, short journeys, early education, neighbors, transportation, and assimilating information. Now, the sign on the cusp of the house can give characteristics to that house and qualities to the manner of communication and other things pertaining to that house. Also, another thing to look at is if you have planets in the third house, well, planets can flavor the third house. And also, it's important to look at where the ruler of the third house is located in, because this can show the energy where communications and other things connected with the third house will be injected in. So, also in transits and progressions, if you have planets in the third house in those instances, well, during that time where the houses will be, the third house would be inhabiting those planets, then you likely will be impacted by the energy of those planets or planet during that period, so that it's in that house. So those are important things to look at. Now, if we first thing for third house Aries, or Aries on the cusp of the third house, well, I think the most obvious thing is that one can expect one to be abrupt, outspoken, very aggressive and assertive in manner of communication. This person may be impatient in their communications with others at times. This could be somebody that may need to let the other person speak a little bit more at times and let them speak as far as their ideas, philosophies, or opinions on a matter may be, because this person may be somewhat impatient as far as communicating, and they might hurry up and want to say what they want to say and then maybe go on to the next subject without hearing what the other person has to say. So also it could indicate that perhaps matters connected with neighbors and siblings may be contentious at times. Perhaps situations can become combative. That is, if the person has siblings, if applicable. In short journeys, this person may show a lot of activity in this, and one must be careful, I believe, with Aries on the third house, because the third house does govern short journeys and also transportation. So just to be extra careful and prudent, because there might be at times maybe some strong impatience with driving, and being impulsive and impetuous in driving can sometimes lead to accidents. So I think that is very being very careful. I have Mars in the third house, which is similar, so I can relate to this. Now, in the early education, this person may have shown a lot of competitive zeal, and in terms of as far as approaching subjects, and may have been very, I guess we could say, very quick, very aggressive in tackling things connected with their scholastic, I guess, scholastic assignments, things that they had to learn in school. And we look at this position, and the third house governs, we look at it as far as communication, and this could be, and it's also, we look at the mind, and we could say that perhaps this person metals, Aries, Mars rules Aries, and Mars is over metals, things that are metallic. So perhaps this person may find some kind of outlet, maybe in something with mechanical engineering, using their mind, and something with metal perhaps as well, that at least has some connection with metals, maybe robotics, maybe some kind of computer repair, working on cars. I mean, cars are connected with short journeys and transportation And of course, cars are strongly comprised of metal, so that would be something to look at. Now, Aries on the third house cusp, it could show possible maybe the nature with their siblings, if they have siblings, maybe somewhat acrimonious at times. This person may be very brusque in their manner of speech and communication, and may not always think of the repercussions of what, as far as when they say something, how it might impact a more sensitive person, because simply when they speak, they're not always going to be worried about the outcome and how somebody responds to it. And also we look at this, and having Aries on the cusp of the third house can also indicate perhaps where there may have been some difficulties with the neighbors. Maybe the situation with neighbors may have become combative, maybe not necessarily physically, but maybe in as far as arguments go, or this person may have their nature might be very brusque, might be very abrupt and quick and outspoken with them. I had a friend whose sun sign was in early Aquarius, and I don't know his natal chart, but likely he would have had, in his solar chart anyway, he would have likely had Aries on the cusp of the third, and he was very outspoken with what he said, to say the least. And being an Aquarius sun, obviously you have that unpredictability mixed in with that. So not only you have the abruptness, but you also have something where you have the unexpected that's mixed in with that. So, and it's always important to look at the whole picture. If somebody has Aries on the cusp of the third, but let's say their Mercury was in tactful Virgo or peaceful Taurus, something like that, for example, may modify things a little bit. Or if Mercury, say for example, was in Pisces, or if it was in the 12th house, this would strongly modify the abruptness that might be connected with having Aries on the cusp of the third house in a natal chart. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for having Aries on the cusp of the third house in a natal chart. And stay tuned next time, where I'll be dissertating and talking about having Taurus on the cusp of the third house in a natal chart. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone. Because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.